Zaza Federal Constituency, and from Ebonyi State, by the mandate of the Speaker, Right Honorable Tajudeen Abbas, I'm the Chairman Committee on Reformatory Institution. Here with me is my ranking and distinguished colleagues in other committees that have been mandated by the House to come to investigate and find out what happened to the inmate that escaped from Kuje prison. And that is our aim of being here today. The extent why we are here jointly is that it's the duty of the Chairman Committee on Justice to make sure pardon, release are being done. It's the duty of the Chairman Committee on Police Affairs to make sure most of those that have minor charges can be addressed. It's the duty of the Chairman Committee on Interior to oversee, because this agency are domiciled in his ministry, to make sure we looked into why we are here. Our standing here is going to be brief, because my co-chairman will just give a brief remarks and we'll move to find out what really happened, what led to that jailbreak, how many of the inmates have been captured, and what we need to do for such not to happen again. So, and that is our main purpose of being here. And I want to hand over to my colleagues, Right Honorable Olumide, to give a brief speech. After him, Chairman Interior, next Chairman of Human Rights, and if the Chairman of Police here, we'll hear from him, and we'll move to find out what really happened. And I believe my clerk wrote to all the necessary agencies. I hope the representative of the military is here, and the representative of police, because this is about holistic. It's not only correction service alone, because they are all people that man the security of the correction service in Kuje prison when that incident happened. We want to find out what really happened. 10th Assembly is very serious in complementing of the effort of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Renew Hope agenda. We want to shrink the Renew Hope agenda in correction service. We want to make sure that the reformatory, according to the amendment of the Act of the Constitution of Nigeria, is really implemented, so that the staff and the welfare of all the correction service officers are being cared for, and equally the inmates. And that is our major things of being here. Thank you. Let me hand over to my ranking and senior colleague.
The congestion of the correctional facilities. That can be achieved through non-custodial sentences, which is what we in the House of Representatives are going to champion. We, at the same time, are very concerned about petty crimes that are not meant to be custodial, but those petty offenders end up staying in correctional facilities for so long and they become hardened criminals. It's meant to be correctional, not making petty criminals hardened. On that note, let me first of all appreciate the men of the service for the work you're doing. We appreciate you, but you can still do more. Thank you so much.
On the incident that happened on 5th July 2022, among the number of inmates during the jailbreak, how many people that escaped, how many have captured, and what led to that jailbreak. After then, the Honorable Minister will give us brief on the journey so far in that aspect. And want to assure the servicemen in correction service that National Assembly is very ever ready in working collectively with all the agencies. That is why this is the first time you are seeing almost about different 5 committee chairmen coming together to work in hand to make sure we put things right in this country. This is our country. It belongs to me and you. It's only us can put it to the test. And by looking at it, you can see all the chairmen in various committees have performed very, very well in all the aspects in life. And we deem it necessary to give back to society by showing what we need to do. So we want you, our CG, to brief us. And after this, if there is any information you have, to give us. The number of the chairman is open. I cannot expose you. We want to do what is right. No, anytime you will be exposed. Whatever we know we can do to make sure President Bola Ahmed Tinubu perform very, very well for this country, we have to do that. Because it is our duty to move Nigeria forward. Nigeria should not move backward. We have to move forward in all aspects. My CG, I invite you to give us your brief account of the inmates on the jailbreak on 2nd.
DCG in charge of training and staff development. I'm here on behalf of the Controller General, who is unavoidably absent from this gathering. The brief I'm going to give is a brief I received from the Controller General, and it goes this way. You may be recalled that the Medium Security Custodial Center, Kuje, was attacked on Tuesday, the 5th of July 2022, by some heavily armed criminal syndicate wielding dynamites, rocket-propelled guns, and other sophisticated weapons. A total of 886 inmates escaped from lawful custody out of the total lockup of 994 before the attack. However, efforts were put in place by the service to recapture all the escaped inmates immediately after the attack. So far, 384 inmates were recaptured, including some members of the Boko Haram suspects, leaving a total of 502 inmates at large. And 4 inmates died during the attack. Additionally, the service has collaborated with the Nigerian Air Force, or Nigerian Police Force, DSS, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Interpol, Nigerian Immigration Service, National Identity Management Commission, American Embassy, Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit, and other relevant bodies to recapture the remaining escapees at large. Also, the service has published the biometric data of the escaped inmates on its social media handles for public to identify these escapees. peace. What will support this is the appendix we made behind. Thank you, sir. However, sir, let me also say this quickly, that at the time this incident happened, reports were written and submitted. Investigative invitations were also made by NSA and National Assembly. Thank you, sir.
My name is Barrister Tunde Ogundare, Technical Advisor to Honorable Minister of Interior. Where I took my leave from, I appreciated this committee for coming today. As we can all see, that the fact speaks for itself. In law, we call it res ipsa loquitur. The fact speaks for itself. Your visit today is timeless, and we feel this is the time we need to properly address our major challenges in this service. First and foremost, it was an unfortunate incident that happened here on the 5th of July 2022. Even though this was inherited, this administration inherited this challenge, but we cannot run away from our challenges because we have no other place to go other than this country called Nigeria. And as it is, we must not continue to dwell on the past. But what do we have to do? All we need to do is to dwell on the future and how to forestall these challenges. And what do we need actually to forestall these challenges? Is a collaborative effort by everyone, most especially our distinguished National Assembly. I've had personal interaction, and I remember when we went to United Nations, Mr. Chairman was present when the minister passionately expressed his intention towards reforming and changing the tide of Nigerian Correctional Service, taking his leave from what we call proper correctional audit. By the time we audit our custodial centers and we're able to identify those who are meant to be legally interned, we'll be able to know how to cater for the challenges and most especially the security of all our custodial centers. And in view of this, that's why we have new innovations concerning building 3,000 capacities of various custodial centers in geopolitical zones of the country. But this needs to be done very quickly. And how do we achieve it? We need improvement in our information technology department. Because the world has gone savvy, and the world is a global village now, where we need to use technology to drive the security of our various custodial centers. If we fail to keep these people properly, we will continue to have challenges of jail attack and jailbreak. Thank God the service have been able to conduct themselves very well. We have not had any history of jailbreak. We are only having jail attack. That shows it's coming from outside. The more reasons we need collaborative effort of all stakeholders in ensuring that this situation does not happen anymore. I can say for a fact that the Honorable Minister has, in several situations, presented this to Mr. President, and it's part of his mandate in ensuring that all these people are recaptured. There have been several meetings, several programs with security agencies, international bodies, and we have been engaging them constructively on how they can help us in recapturing these people. And I'm sure that all security agencies, ably led by Correctional Service, who are at the center or the focal point of these challenges, they are not relenting on their oasis in ensuring that we get these people back. Sir, not to bore you with so much rhetoric, I want to humbly submit that for us to have an achievable progress, we need money, and we need more money. Better allocation should be voted for Nigerian Correctional Service so that we can properly execute the mandate given to us as a service, so that we can as well propagate the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I know you are extremely experienced because your submission at UNODC was an impressive one. And I'm very sure that you will not leave us in the cold. We need your support at this time, and we believe you are going to do this. And finally, sir, you can't have a baby. You can't have a baby that is not well fed. If you have a baby minder, probably you give some food items to a baby minder, and the baby minder is not properly looked after. The baby will start going, slim by the day. Our officers and men must be looked after as well. Their welfare is very paramount because they are at the center stage of the danger. And this is the time we should have life insurance for our officers and men. It's extremely important. And I want you to as well look into this so that they can be well motivated and give their life to the service of the nation. Thank you once again.
If police are assigned, who are those on duty that day? Where are they where the incident happened? And equally, your men that were on duty that day, where are they when the incident happened? Because I know too well, you have so many checking points before getting to the correction service point. What was their act? Because there should be an first incident before reaching to the end point, to penetration to the yard. We want you to feed us with that information. And equally, you have what is called a spy center. Where are your spy center in a correction service that needs to identify what happened? Is your CCTV camera working? If it is working, we want the video clip of the incident of that day. Thank you.
Let me sit down.
Go ahead.
So we have some of the questions that are asked, some of them look similar. We have our intelligence men and women that are assigned to this custodial center, and they are doing everything since that time. They have been doing, and they have been doing everything. They are doing everything to see that the capture is made. We are also in collaboration, as I earlier read out from the CGC's address, that we are in collaboration with the Nigerian Civil Defense, the Police Force, DSS, Interpol, Nigerian Immigration Service, National Identity Management Commission, American that are still at large. 2, females are not in this custodial center. We don't have space for females. It is only men that are in this custodial center. So no female was injured, no female was here, and that's just the problem of whether female was here or not. Then the environment is being worked upon since the occurrence of this incident. You can see from outside that there are 2 high walls. There's a wall that is covering the custodial center itself, and then the environment of the custodial center is also given a high wall. This will deter anybody that wants to come to this place from attempting so. If you enter, you will not be able to go out because it is too deep inside. It may be shallow outside, but it is too deep inside. And even outside, I'm not thinking that it is that shallow that you can fall onto the wall. And the work has not finished because the thinner wire will be put on that wall, and it will be fixed with electricity. So anybody that comes, let bye-bye to his life. When you hold it, it will just knock you down. Minister is also doing a lot to see that he gives this place a first lift, and that will soon come. For technology, I'm not a technology man, so the man that is the Center of Technology will brief us on what he's doing about technology.
We do that. That is why you see all the various committees we are here. So that if we are presenting before the floor of the House, we should do something to make sure we uplift the life of the servicemen in correction service. And equally, the inmate, the security inmate. Unlike what the minister said, the budget of correction service is very poor. Correction service is the key to Nigerian security. Because this is where all the people we thought that are not yet convicted or presumed to be innocent are being kept. Whether armed robber, kidnapper, or banditry, or whatever we may call it, are all kept here. So we have to really have that orientation of reformatory to reform their psychological so that such person cannot go back to the crime. So, no problem. Over the motion to investigate the escape on July 5th, 2022. And this mandate is accord on 5 committees: the Committee on Reformatory Institution, the Committee on Justice, the Committee on Interior, the Committee on Human Rights, and the Committee of Police. And we have visited Kuje prison. We have seen things by ourselves. And it is our duty now to go and look into our various views to make sure such a thing will not happen again. But we just want to commend the Controller General for what they are doing. We are seeing a new innovation in the correction center, especially in Kuje prison. The ongoing construction, and equally the minister. He have shown that the minister is a product of National Assembly. He feel the pillars and the problem of the masses. And what we are seeing here, we are very happy, we are very glad. All this committee, we are going to make sure we put up our best. Whatever we can do to make sure they have more reimbursed budget, we'll do that. Because their staffs need to be looked into, their welfare need to be looked into, and equally where they are living. Because if the staffs of this correction service are well paid, they should give their best to Nigerian in keeping our people in reformatory services.